review and approve very minor changes to the canvassing board manual, and also provide the delegation of authority, which is something that we need to do on an annual basis. So why don't we go ahead and do introductions first. We start with Commissioner and then Prosecutor Thunheim.
Sure. Ty Menser, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Thurston County.
Hello, John Thunheim, County Prosecutor.
Okay. And election staff?
Yep, I'm Jack Mongen, Elections Technician.
I'm Lynette Milton, Elections Supervisor.
Tilly Polar, Elections Manager.
Emmett O'Connell, Outreach and Education Specialist. I'm present in room 280. There's no audience here.
Diana Benson, Chief Deputy Auditor.
Okay, great. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, have you both received the documents, the delegation of authority?
Yes.
Okay, so what this does is authorizes election staff to act as representatives of the canvassing board when we conduct elections. So for example, preparing the ballots, checking the signatures, retrieving them from drop boxes, ballot inspection, scanning, duplication, resolving, and then preparing, all the research to present to the canvassing board. They also provide the canvassing board with all of the paperwork, and they will conduct any recanvass or recounts. So this delegation is in accordance with RCW 29A.60.140 and WAC 434-262-015. So it doesn't delegate any responsibility for certifying the returns of the election or determining the validity of ballots referred to us or rejecting the ballots. So I guess since we're remote, the way we will do this, does anybody have any questions or comments first about this document or the delegation of duties?
No.
Okay. John, any questions or comments?
Oh, not at all.
Okay, so what we can do is each person could sign this and either scan and email it to us or route it through interoffice mail. We'll marry all of these documents up, which will have the signature from each canvassing board member. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jack, who's going to walk you through the minor changes that we've added to the canvassing board manual.
All right, thank you. So there are two changes that we're making besides just updating the dates that you see here. The first change is found on page 4. And what this change is, this is something that this whole year in review, looking through 2020, that we found necessary. Basically, it is changing the sentence here that you see, and it used to be that all canvass board meetings had to take place at the ballot processing center. Now, in this age of remote meetings, we want to basically be able to expand the venues in which we'll be able to hold meetings. So it adds that language unless an alternative location is chosen by the auditor to the meeting location section.
Are you good with that?
Yep, I'm good with it.
I am too.
Okay.
Wonderful. The next section, or the next change, is going to be found on page 20. This has to do with a new law that was passed that basically adds a place where voters can register to vote. These are called student engagement hubs. They're put around various universities and colleges in Washington. They're basically put there to allow, make sure that students do have access to the materials they would need to participate in elections. As part of that change, we have to update the Canvas Board manual, basically to update a voter registration deadline. So if a student is at a student engagement hub, or any voter is at that hub, and they're there no later than 8 p.m. on election day, we would be able to count their registration and then count their ballot that is given to them.
So student engagement hubs are actually new. They were part of a big, long bill that really did a great job of creating better access to voting. So our student engagement hub, we're required to open one at the Evergreen State College for every general election. So that's why we have added this in there.
Is there a definition of the student engagement hub in the RCW or somewhere else?
I believe there is. I don't have the new RCWs in front of me, but it's referenced in a bill, the bill that passed. But I don't know what RCW that is.
I can get that information in just 1 second.
Okay.
So that is going to be RCW 29A 4180.
Would you like to see that on screen?
I'm pulling it up here on my other screen.
Okay.
Yep, student engagement hubs. Each institution shall contract with the county auditor for the operation of the street. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's clear and somebody doesn't try to claim they set up a table and, you know, that's a student engagement hub if it had a precise legal definition, which it does. So I don't, but you
Yeah, it even calls out Evergreen State College.
Usually this one.
yeah. Given how the rest of that is worded, this should be fine because this is very clear in that 180.
Okay, perfect. Great. It's nice having two sets of attorney eyes on this document.
Is there any other questions or comments about this particular update?
Hey, Jack, I'm sorry. Can I interrupt the canvassing board just for this in particular question? Auditor Hall, would you recommend that we add in 29A.40.180 onto this section?
I mean, it certainly couldn't hurt. That actually crossed my mind as well. So if somebody wanted to go look it up, they could.
The only reason I didn't suggest that is because then you have a voting center, and I don't know if that has another, different definition, cross-reference to a different. I mean, you're trying to be consistent. So I was just, if voting center is not called out by a statutory cross-reference, then maybe you don't want to do a student engagement hub, or you could put them both.
Is that in 29A081010? I know it's in that chapter, voting center, I believe. I actually really like having the RCW reference.
Voting center is 29A 4160.
Okay.
Yeah, so you probably want to say, you'd either want to, in my opinion, you'd either want to put it in the sentence, a voting center as defined by blah, or you'd want to put a period and just a reference, because it's not actually, if you do it the way you've got it there, it's making it sound like that's somehow the information that the voter registration application is requiring, and that's not why we're citing those two.
So it would go,
the cleanest way, in my opinion, would be to say a voting center as defined in RCW 29A 4160, comma, a student engagement hub as defined in 29A 180, and then you're good to go.
I agree with that. I think that's the cleanest way to do it.
Okay.
Put the RCW in there. Just the letters. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That looks great.
Wonderful. Is there any other comments or concerns about this update?
Looks good.
Okay. And then we will be able to just accept the track changes for all of these. And then these changes will be put together with the signed approval notice for these. And we'll be sending out after this meeting a PDF version of the new and updated canvassing board manual.
Yeah. So those were the only changes we had. So I guess I'd like to make a motion to approve the delegation of authority and the changes to the canvassing board manual as outlined by staff.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, great. So you should have two documents to sign in front of you, and then we will also send out, do you want it in paper or electronic? The canvassing board manual, or both?
Electronics fine with me.
Okay,
Yeah, that works for me too.
okay. So we'll send that out as soon as we get these documents back, so we can make sure that the signed documents are with the electronic copy that we send you. Any other comments or questions or fun
So-
activities over the weekend?
Just to be
Just
clear
for
on the
clarity.
signing, you want me to print out, sign both, and send it in interlocal mail? It won't, it's not a, Thomasina had described that it would be routed around to me after someone else signed it, but it sounds like that you're saying I can just sign my own, send it directly to you.
Yeah, what we did actually all during this year was you would sign it and get it back to my office either via scan and email or paper copy. And then what we do is we marry all three signatures up. So instead of signing one signature page, we sign three, but they get married up together.
So if I send you the signed version as a PDF attached to an email, that's what you need.
Yep,
Okay.
that will work. That is correct. All right. Anything else?
And do you want us to send those back to Jack then? Is that the best place?
Tilly, where
I
would
can
you
take
like?
care of all of that from there.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Staff, anything else? All right, well, I will go ahead and adjourn the canvassing board meeting. So this is quick, down and dirty, right?
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
like quick.
thank you. I know,
Quick is
we
good.
do. Gift of time, right?
That's right.